Well, hello people. This is the first video on the English Civil War Dragoons I mentioned in the previous video for here. So these are Bicorne miniatures. They mix very well with the bloody miniatures that are available. And what I'm going to do is show you how I do my bases. The paints used is model colour from Vallejo, beige brown, orange ochre, dark sand. This one happens to be AK third generation pale sand, but I know where Vallejo do of pale sand as well. So first things first, oops, I think my arm's got in the way, is I'll start with the base. If you notice I've left one grey. The reason why it's grey is so I can get all the consistency between what I've already done. So we just drop a bit of that in there, thin it out with a little bit of their airbrush thinner, and I mean only a little bit, because these new paints that they do react weird. Put too much in and this comes out with a bit of a green hue on it for some strange and unapparent reason. So just mix that in and away we go. Pretty simple. While it's thin, bang it on. Try to keep it neat around the boots. Doesn't matter if you don't. So some of you will be thinking, why is he doing the base now? Don't know, I've always done it this way. Bit mad really. I think the reason why I did it, just to piddle people off at the War Games Club many years ago, when I didn't get so much time to paint. They used to turn up with glued up figures, so I could just get a game in really. Otherwise I think my wargaming experience would have stopped pretty early. So here we go. Well, I'm just covering the base. Yes, you will find that some grey will show through. Just get some of this mildly thinned down brown, beige brown on there. Push it around a bit. Oops, I think I just caught that again. Yeah, this setup's getting the colour, so our picture's right is a bit too close to my head, but there you go. Don't worry about the edge, but get it covered over if you can. But make sure it comes round over the edge. As you see, it's rather feet. I've actually caught the foot, with the boot there. Don't worry about that. So let that dry. Probably won't be dry for the rest of this video, but you can get the gist. So that's that. So then we'll move to the next colour. So oops, get that out of the way, re-clean that. So switch that one out, bring forward the palette, and we now reach for the next colour, which is orange ochre. As with all Vallejo bottles that get gunked up around there, you have to spend so many hours a week going through the paints you regularly use, getting rid of that gunk. So it is a bit of pain in the rear. One of my pet hates. So right, I use this brush. Cheap, chisel-edged brush. Whatever type that's called. You artists out there will know. But yeah, I use that. Basically dip it in there, mainly the tip, and then using this bit of card just work it through so you got a bit of it showing on the brush, and then away we go. Keeping the brush at a slight angle to the base. Oops. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a little bit heavy there, but it'll hide. yeah, just make sure it's a dry brush, not too heavy. Just work it around in between the legs there. Maybe this is one of the reasons why I do this as well. Starting first of all, because then you don't dry brush all over painted boots. So, yeah, hope you can see that. It's not much of a change there, but trust me. So, we'll go on again with the next figure. Try brushing away. Yeah. Might need to put a little drop on again because it's drying out. Oops, keep going off camera, sorry, force of habit. Obviously I usually work at a different pose, which is more comfortable for me, and until I can acquire something, a better setup, I'm going to have to try and remember to keep near the blue tack. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, it's got a bit thick there, but let's not worry too much about it. You can still make out the sand, that's in the base. So there you go, folks. Let's get up there. You can see, yeah, a bit of a difference, but hey ho, we'll go with that. So then we go with the next level. We should be able to do all three that we've already started with this, and it's Vallejo Dark Sand. Here we go. This one's terribly gunked up. Yeah, lovely jubbly. Not. I think I'm going to have to get a new. I knew one of these. It feels a little bit empty. Right, so here we go. Same old trusty brush again. Bit of it on there. There's a bit lot too much on there, so we'll work that out. Now your brush will also be slightly moist from before, which, yeah, just be careful because it might make it. It's not too bad. If it's too wet, it'll make this paint an absolute nightmare to dry and brush with. But yeah, as you can see, hopefully that it's just a lot more gentle than the last one that we were using. There you go, look, picks that out, lovely. A bit more on my brush, get rid of most of it, nice and light, just enough to create a little bit more depth and more of a highlight to the base. I mean, you could leave it at that on there, but as with everything, I usually go a bit too far for most people. But here we go, just around the edge. It's pretty quick, really. Just remember, be light. Make sure you don't have too much on your brush. Like you can see there, it's gone a bit too light there. You might be able to tell, but I can. So that's that bit done. And pale sand is the last one. Now this wants to be really, really light. Next to nothing on your brush, if possible. So there we go. You hope you can see it. And there's virtually nothing left on there. You can see where it's a bit too thick. Work that out, and away we go. Nice and very gentle here. So it gives you a final highlight. It probably looks a bit stark, but once you get your foliage on there, it'll see what I mean. little bit there, a little bit too hefty, but you can add that. So here we go on the next one. And there should still be enough on here to get away with lightly dry brushing this one here. So that's how I do my bases, and then I tend to do the rim of the base just for standard value game colour earth. Yeah, I can see on some of these figures where it's gone a bit too heavy for dry brushing, but like I said, we can add that when it comes to oops, sorry, I caught the thing. When it comes to putting foliage on, or static grass or whatever. All it is pretty simple now, it's just nice and gentle. A little bit of water in, a bit too much on the brush there, I could feel that. Just painting the rim. Just tidies the edge up. Some people do it black, some people use a darker brown, some people, well, use whatever colour. But yeah, here we go. A little bit grey showing there, so we'll force that to hide the grey. Yeah, not making for great TV, I know, but we're getting there. That's that one done. That's that one done. Another touch of water. Can't get over how warm it is in here. It's mad. And again, just gently around the edge. You know, it doesn't matter if you go underneath with the paint, just remember not to stick it on, or put it on something that's easy to stick to when paint's wet, like this card. Or anything really. I mean, it will stick to the cutting pad as well if you get too much paint on. So, but yeah. So that's that finished. Them's that 3 finished. I shall do that off camera. So there you go, folks. That's how I do the bases of the figures. Those of you following the Alicante Pikeman one can see now. Oops, there's a bit there I've missed. How I did the base. There you go. Hopefully you can see all that. Hopefully it's all good. Alright then. Thank you for watching again. Don't forget, please like, subscribe, all that technical gumph. And join me soon on the next one. I'll be carrying on with these, try and do a bit every day. So yeah, thank you folks. Thank you, bye.